My name's Mikey Rockwell, and I'm on a quest to make games. In this episode, I team up with my fiancée Lou to enter the Ludum Dare 55 Game Jam. We'll have 72 hours to make a game from scratch and ship it. In the last episode, I took a break from the Unity game engine to try and build my third prototype in Godot, a free and open source game engine. And while it was a learning curve, I managed to get a rough prototype going in about a week. A few days later, I became aware that Ludum Dare 55 was taking place, and on the day of the jam, at the last minute, we decided to enter. Alright, let's get into it. The theme for the game jam was summoning. So we took our dog out for a little walk and talked through some ideas before we even got started. You are the @ symbol and you have a flute and you sing your song and you run around and you collect rats to come follow you on your merry little way to the river or the cliff. For this project, I was going to go back to Unity, which being my most used software, it'd give me the best chance of making something in 72 hours. 32. Hot tone. Look at this. We got vegan plant-based. In accordance with the rules of Ludum Dare, it's okay to start off with some code, so I went back to my nature game prototype and harvested a few of the managers and some of the bits and bobs to get going. But what I want to do is make it so every time you pick up a rat, it targets the last rat.
Oh, it's following the other rat.
So it becomes like a train. For the navigation, I used an asset called Agents Navigation, which I'd bought for another project. This asset allows agents to navigate around the map and avoid obstacles. Good old Agents Navigation, I knew it would come in handy at some point. Meanwhile, on the other PC, Lou was researching European architecture and began drawing the first building sprites.
Cute. That's pretty cute.
It's pretty detailed, eh?
Yeah, I like the detail though. I'm going to save it on my desktop. I know you hate that, but I just...
No, use your desktop. It's your desktop, babe. Do whatever criminal actions you want.
It's pretty cute.
It's pretty cute, babe. But they're infested with rats. Yes, we were going to infest these beautiful buildings with rats. And to show the level of infestation, I started experimenting with a shader that would cover the building in increasing amounts of filth. Because it's fully filthy. Lou had drawn a few different shaped buildings, and she quickly whipped up some different coloured houses for variety. Yeah, what if you go through noisy areas and they can't hear the flute anymore?
Yeah. Yeah, there's like men with guitars or something. I don't know.
You're like, here, just whip up a band. Can you? A marching band, maybe? Or there's cats on certain corners that chase them away.
Maybe instead of playing a flute, you got a boombox and you keep losing reception. Or you can't run past a cat or something, so then the cat like
chases them away.
Yes.
That's literally what I said when you were like zoning out into boombox. The rats were creating a nice orderly conga line behind the player, and when they entered this designated area, they would just run off the jetty and to their doom in the depths of the river below. Taking some inspiration from this rat run cycle, Lou redrew a rat animation in our pixel art style. Scurrying rats.
Scurrying.
Why are they doing that? How do I make them not? And then they go off. Boo, 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 boo. Oh, look, babe, with just one line of code. By one line, I mean quite a few lines.
Go in the change direction. That's really cool.
To work in some quick variation with the rats, we added a mask for their fur, and each rat samples its colour from a gradient. Oh yeah, there we go. All the rats are slightly different.
Whoa. Look at them go.
Lou turned her attention to some other features of the city. But what this game really needed was its protagonist, a skipping piper that would summon the rats to follow him and save the city. We found this cool skipping animation for reference and extracted a few frames to help draw up the main skipping animation. Working in sections, Lou gave the piper a nice feathered hat, some pants, and eventually a shirt and a trumpet. Was it a piper or a trumpeter? We took the work in progress piper and tested out the skipping animation, and while he was a big danger to the rats, all in all, he was pretty harmless. The end of day one was drawing nigh, and we had made some good progress. We had some buildings, rats, and part of the player animation, with a basic system for summoning the rats to their inevitable demise. 6:43 in the AM. I'm a little too long in the tooth to be staying up all night for a game jam, so starting day 2 we made a list of what we wanted to achieve to stay on track with the game plan. It was a Sunday and Lou was going to be available to work on the art for the whole day but would be going back to her job on Monday. It was a big priority to get the bulk of the artwork done. The city itself would need to be laid out, like some sort of European township maze, so I would need to lay out the level by hand. My worst nightmare. So I continued avoiding that issue and kept working on the infestation systems instead. But one idea I had to save time was, instead of choosing each building color one by one and laying them out, I could just copy-paste one small or big building and write a little script that would let each building choose a random sprite. That way, each time the level loaded, there would be some uniqueness to it. The other major question about the city layout was how would we manage everything other than the buildings. In my last 2 Unity prototypes, I had created my own hacky tile system, but Unity has its own tile map system, which I had never used. And after some cursory research, it seemed clear that this would be a simple and effective approach to creating the level layout. Lou got straight to work on drawing up the different tile art that we would need to create an interesting and good-looking level. Oh no, that can be a corner, can't it? This can be that corner if it's going that way. Wow, this is really like a level of detail. Almost totally unnecessary. Don't know who asked for this. To create waterways, I just laid down some sprites over the tile map, and as to not bother Lou, I drew up a little jetty sprite, not really adhering to her art style at all. Go rats! Is this too dark?
No, that's cool.
Yes, I admit I had some ethical questions about the gameplay. Is it okay to drown rats that are spreading the plague? Without getting too deep into that, I opted to instead make some splash particles to trigger when the rat took the final plunge. And as I began to spawn more and more rats, we needed to make sure that our game would perform with hundreds, if not thousands of rats in the city. Not only perform, but be playable in someone's browser on a range of different hardware. Luckily for me, Unity builds to WebGL, which would let the game run in a browser, and the agent's navigation asset harnesses Unity's ECS and DOTS systems, which basically means it runs really fast even with a ton of agents. For every rat you get a little experience and then level up in it, and maybe it like gives you an option to, what do you want to level up?
I don't know, come up like carry more rats or
more rat capacity, bigger flute radius, or more speed. And that's how it ended up. A quick conversation is all the time you have to make a decision and move on. Lou continued to expand the tile set and gave me a little demo of how she saw these cute flower beds working in the level. She had managed to draw up just about all the sprites we needed to work with, and so we ended day 2. In the morning she'd be going back to work and I would be using all the assets we had created to finally lay out the level. 6 AM, it's time to get back in. What did we do all day? We got that done, we got that done, that done, that done, and some of that. I've been putting it off for 2 days now, and I had all the tools I needed to just put my head down and build the actual level. No distractions, no excuses, just pure level design.
Have a good day, good luck.
Thanks, babe. If you've ever done a game jam or a 48-hour film or something like that, you probably know your main opponent is your declining mental state. And after 2 long days of non-stop coding and design, I was starting to lose the plot. The city is growing, so it's going to take me forever. Okay. But luckily I was able to master myself and carry on. It's too big, man. However, I quickly realized that the level itself was too big, so I started shrinking the play space with more water. Oh, there's so much still to fill. I feel like it's still too big. It was still a bit too big. This is going to be the edge of the map, and then this is going to be the edge of the map up here. We're just going to do it. I feel like this just needs to be a group of buildings that I can always select. It was here I realized that I had some copy-pasting issues. What? I had accidentally duplicated extra pieces when copying the buildings, and then made duplicates of the duplicates and duplicates of those duplicates. Oh my gosh. So this, if I select this, how many buildings is it? So many. Delete, 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 delete. Looks like it's not that bad. This is a lot. This is a lot. It's 7:56 and we've already done this quadrant over here. I think this river is just gonna go up here. People really are posting stuff. Who's got time to post stuff? Let's just get it going, eh? How about we just get it going? Maybe there's too many goals, but maybe it's alright. I could be being smarter about this, couldn't I? Could be, could not be. Could always be smarter. Sometimes you don't have time to be that smart. The idea of making a game in this time is just berserk, you know? Who would do such a thing? Maybe there's another jetty up here. Who knows? It's your world.
And in our world, we can do anything that we want to do here.
No mistakes. I think I made a mistake. Tall houses on the river. Tall houses on the river. Progress report. Tall houses on the river. It was just this area. We did all of this in 3 hours. That sounds like a lot. But we did some other things while we were at it. We modularized the jetty. We did some other things. So the way the day's going to go is we're going to just quickly flesh out we're going to quickly flesh out this area up here. Running around picking up rats and taking them to jetties. I feel like it's going to be impossible to win until like maybe you just have this huge radius and you can carry in a ridiculous number of rats. I think I want it to go bananas, so hopefully it will. I had not tested to see if this game would be playable, much less winnable on a map this size. Everything was just going on feel. I was just doing my best to approximate how the design might play out. Perhaps some lovely little European houses for a change. And then you go around here and then you're like, what's going on over here? Why? Who designed this game? What kind of sick individual designed this game? Whoa, what are all these rats doing here? Another unknown was, will this game actually perform in someone's browser? I started doing a little profiler digging. Main rendering transparent, render 2D lighting pass, draw 2D lights, render light set, shadows. Okay, so shadows are maybe gonna have to be gone from the game. Oh, I put them all in manually! So only make a rat if there's less than, say, 1,000. We may have heavy performance issues. I was building from Unity to WebGL, which is a browser platform, and at this stage I was getting around 50 frames a second, which was a bit low as I have a pretty OP system, and I wanted the game to be playable on lower end hardware. I had made some pretty robust outlines in Unity for my game Potions, which involves expanding the sprites of a shader in all directions. Of course, I spent a bunch of time recreating these outline shaders, only to realize it would probably be much simpler just to press the outline button in Aseprite and add them to the regular rat shader when they follow you. And when I go and pick them up, and after a few tweaks, that worked out nicely for what I was trying to do. But now the time had come to really just finish this level layout. We have Jetty going that way. We don't. What if we just scale it on the -1? Oh, we've got some erroneous boys up here. Erroneous. Another balancing act is to move quickly without making too many game-breaking mistakes, or perhaps duplicating pre-duplicated buildings again. Delete, 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 delete. Delete. Wow, there's so many. Luckily, I wasn't fully alone in this endeavor. I still had the support of our canine companion, Chili Beans. Beansy. Beansy. You got me, Beansy. Beansy, you got me with the And just like that, with no complaining or distractions, I was able to finish laying out the level. Okay, now that this is completely done and needs no changes whatsoever. Actually, let's put in some lights. We've got some dark parts in the city. Lampposts. Is this like a performance tanker? Putting in tons of lights? Probably, yeah. The level is done. I feel like I like it with the less yellow lights. How do I fix that? Color curves. And then reset this one. And just get the yellow and push it a little warmer. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot better. Okay, so what is the problem with the rats?
From RetailKnowledge.com.
What?
Rats are a huge pest problem. They eat and contaminate food, they cause damage to homes and structures, and they transmit diseases to humans and other animals.
Wow, thanks for that. And with the level complete, it was time to move on to some of the other systems, like rats not walking on the water. Can you go through it? Yeah, straight through. Straight through they go. They don't care about anything, these rats. Which I ended up solving by making the rats collide with the riverbanks. Not a perfect solution, but it would do. I'm recording. This is JB. We are doing a musical consultation. You're going to be like in a tiny window, Okay, cool. See if anything comes to you. No, yeah. Okay, standing by. And so he went off to do his bits. All items called Jetty and set them to be -1. Then get all items called Water, set them to be -2. Zing. That's that problem solved. Solved. And there's a little strong evidence for why you should always name your things in all software. Just do it. Lou was back from her job and straight back into the chair to draw up some UI sprites for the level up menu. Oh, just like that. And as per usual, she was delivering the goods. Splish splash, sploosh sploosh sploosh. Zoom. Your experience grows. Whoa, it's growing so much.
Oh, that's quite cool though.
Yeah, now you can win the game. It's non-stop. It's non-stop game development. Oh, look at that.
It's pretty good.
It's very good, babe. That's very good, babe. I want these, and over there. It was at this exact moment that I created the biggest bug in the game, which I wouldn't know about until after the game was released and many people played it. In fact, no one noticed it until near the end of the Game Jam playtesting period. More on that later. To aid the player in their quest to clear the rats from the city, I thought it might be nice to have a map that showed the city and the concentration of rats. Basically, the quick and dirty method I chose was to have a second camera zoomed out to cover the whole city and re-render parts of the game, including a bright coloured sprite for each rat. There's so many rats up here, holy hecker. This is the problem, is that it just becomes exponential. Rats in the City 1. Rats in the City 2. What? Come here, you little... In my evening playtest and with the help of the map, I was finally able to clear the city of rats, and the balance wasn't too bad.
You win?
I did it!
Yay!
Then there needs to be a congratulations.
Yeah.
Maybe you can only peek at the map.
Yeah.
That seems like a whole mechanic. And so I went with the Diablo style map that would pop up over the screen, showing you the overview, but you would need to close it again to navigate the city streets. We've done jetties, we've done more starting infestations. Right now it's just random. We've playtest, we put blockers on the rivers, we fixed the shadows, we got leveling, we don't have menu, and we've fixed the art.
Peter.
I hate Leo.
The rat catcher.
Better be alcohol at all. Street over is close.
Roger the rat catcher. Peter Piper. You just call it Peter Piper.
Peter Piper. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Peter Piper rat tail.
Peter Piper in a rat's tail.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
Yes.
Done.
I like it.
I like it too. Bring write it down. Peter Piper on the rat's tail.
Peter Piper in a rat's Tail. Is it T-A-L-E?
Yeah. That's so cute. Nice.
Okay, so we go in here and we go, oh wow, look, there's rats and stuff. How cool is that? And then we hit start. Boom, that didn't take long. The game had a name, a title screen, a start button, and my final task for day 3 was to add in some control layout menu items to help the player know how to play. The way the game jam fell on our time zone gave us till 11 AM the next morning, and while Peter Piper was in a good spot, there was still no music from our friend and no sound effects, which I was determined to make from scratch. I ended the day with a build and playtest in the browser, making mental notes of bugs, issues, and potential improvements for performance. It's 5 in the morning. I couldn't sleep in. I started thinking about things. I'm in here to finish the game. And there was still quite a lot to be done before the game was ready. I was also not very clear on how Ludum Dare actually worked. In hindsight, I think the 72 hours is for working on the game, and then there's another period to upload the game and make the page. I'm still not really sure about that, so I just aimed to have the game done and published before the initial 72-hour deadline. And one looming issue was that there was no sound yet in the game. So I pulled out my trusty OP1 FM synthesizer and got down to business making some crunchy sound effects. In Ludum Dare, you can add any asset you want to your game, but you cannot be judged on each category that you do not use original work, i.e. sound effects from a library versus making them yourself. And I wanted everything in the game to be made by our little team, if we could. The Ludum Dare game page itself was pretty janky to set up, and in case I didn't figure out how to embed the game properly, I decided to make an itch.io page and link it as a backup. And while I was testing builds, I realized there was an issue with my 2-camera setup. Wow, it is. Okay, so the rat camera is only on when the map is on. We're down to 94 and we're back up. And it works. It turns it on. Turns out rendering the game twice is quite costly. Yeah, we're at 120. Now we're cranking boys with 51 rats in the city. Once we hit this, we're down to 80. Beauty, 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 beauty. I love that you can do all this and it fits into a 12 megabyte file.
Yes. Speed. That was a big haul. Whoa. Okay, this is actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, no pressure, but I've got like 2 hours to put all the music and everything in the game, and
Is it today?
it's in 2 hours. It's in 2 hours. While my good buddy was working on the in-game music, I thought I'd try my hand at a little lullaby for the intro screen. Just noodling away with a verbed out piano sound. Sort of an unsatisfying note to finish on, but I think that's pretty much that's our intro song in one take. Let's do it. Oh, we're getting down to the wire here, buddy. 8 o'clock. Yeah, I like that. Oh, that last one was quite nice. There are a few sound effects now in the game, and I was working on fixing up a few things. We were just now waiting on our main game music. Full. There were enough layers for me to take the tracks into Cubase and arrange something longer that hopefully wouldn't be too repetitive. It was on to the final stretch, making last-minute adjustments, fixing bugs, and creating the game pages on Itch and Ludum Dare. This would require some screenshots, some tinkering with build options to get the game displaying correctly on the different platforms, and the clock was ticking down. And with just moments to spare, Peter Piper and the Rat's Tail. Oh, we did it! It's a bit of a anticlimax. We got there. Ludum Dare Game Jam 55. My mum's playing it. Great to work with my fiance. Great to work on something at rapid pace and get to where we got to. Super proud of the team. JB, thanks for the music. I don't know if people are going to play. There seems to be so many entries to sift through, so I'm going to have to go through and play some of the other games. Hopefully, maybe I'll make this video real quick and then you can go check it out too. And 3 months later, here we are. The game is still available to play on itch.io and received these rankings in Ludum Dare. The bug that I introduced was made when I copied the level up icons to show what your current levels were, but I forgot to disable the logic on them, so you could just level up your character by clicking on them. That, and there were no limits to speed or song radius. These were some basic mistakes with some pretty funny results. Making the previous prototypes had definitely helped give a good run-up to making a whole game in 72 hours, and the Game Jam has definitely been an epic step on the quest. In the next episode of DevQuest, I dust off a prototype that I started almost a year ago and see if I can quickly bring it to life. What starts as a cursory examination turns into an epic side quest, spanning 3 game engines and even the idea of building one from scratch. Tall houses on the river. Tall houses on the river.